Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of Sister Azra and Seniha. We are very happy to be here with you today and talk again about some hot topics. Today we're going to cover a crucial topic, which is how to overcome some of the obstacles as mothers and all the challenges that are thrown upon us on daily basis. Of course, this podcast is normally kept kind of short, so we can't cover everything, but Sister Azra and I have viewpoints, and we hope you like it. We do ask you to comment below, let us know what topics you want us to cover in the future, but also what would you like us to improve, and what did you really like about this particular podcast? Comment below, it's really helpful for us. Without further ado, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Azra.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Seniha, and everybody who is listening. It's so great to be here again and looking forward to another interesting topic we have today.
Yes, I always love meeting with you and just, having that latte in the morning talking to you. You really give me that boost when we do talk. And I am so grateful that we get to continue this podcast. And inshallah, this will be recorded as our good deed. But inshallah, the whole point of this is to benefit the other sister, to benefit from it, and for us to learn from it as well. So let's get started. I have a few questions. Number one, Sister Azra, your children are older, mashallah tabarakallah, so you have gone through parenting, and of course it doesn't end, but could you share with us your personal story, some of the obstacles and overwhelm that you had to go through, surpass in their early years and now, and how has your faith played a role on it as well?
Yes, great question, and I would say great experience to be mother, right? Sometimes, yeah, we see it as a lot of challenges and obstacles, especially today. But on the end of the day, when you're thinking of, we are grateful, right, for a blessing of being actually mothers. So, Saniha, I would start from actually the beginning, the very first moment when I, found that I'm going to be a mother. And my first thought was, I'm going to become responsible and I'm going to care like 24/7. I'll be responsible to care about another human being. And I think that thought at that first moment actually was very overwhelming for me. And of course, we are thinking of all these mistakes or, things that we went through with our own parents that we didn't want to repeat. So I would say that that's the moment when it hits you, you understand, now you start understanding your parents. That's a huge responsibility. That's a huge, task or job in front of us. So down the road, right, the life goes on, and we go through many trials in our marriage, in life, and then we remember our parents. And we realize that they were nicely hiding these moments from us, like we are doing today. We're trying to hide and cover all the things that we're going through, so we don't want to share. We don't want to share. We don't want our kids to know. So I will share one thing specifically for me. Like I get married a little bit late, get my children when I was 30. So if you heard of this term, like a sandwich generation, like when you have really small kids, but at the same time you have parents that are older, right? And for me personally, I went through, some sequence of things, such as, financial loss, like my husband lost a job, and at that time, my mother passed away, and his father was showing the signs of dementia, and we just got, two little kids. So it was a lot of things to go through, a lot of things. Was not easy. But what helped me, of course, Alhamdulillah, I'm always grateful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide me. And when I'm thinking, like, I started practicing when I was 29. But then I was thinking about all these, sorry, all these advices from Jahiliyyah, right, that encourage us to get married late and, not take advantage of being young and taking care of young kids. So I just want to say that through my personal experience, it was very difficult to be, in good mood and lots of energy for your young kids. At the same time, take care of your parents. But what helped me, of course, that we are Muslims, that, of course, the prayer, the du'as, and understanding that all that is part of the life, and, being part of being adult, like, no one is coming to save you, and no one is obligated to come to save you, right? And we ask Allah to help us to go through this, and we have to do the best what we can. It's just sometimes focus on those moments to get through them the best what you can, give the best what you can, and ask help from Allah. So, Saniha, you can add if you want to share. Good.
Yeah, I mean, I think oftentimes, as mothers, we forget that they were not meant to be perfect, and that, some of us will go to sleep, actually not even go to sleep thinking, oh, maybe I could have done this, I could have done that, instead of patting ourselves in the shoulder, being like, you know what, it was a rough day, but inshallah tomorrow it will be better. Instead, we tend to beat each other and be the worst to ourselves. So it was very good to remind us that, we're not meant to be perfect, and that
Yes.
as long as we keep going to Allah, and we talk to Allah, and we talk to our children, and we talk to ourselves, especially be nice to ourselves, give ourselves a permission to just even make mistakes. It's okay, you know. It's a really good reminder. I
Yes.
really appreciate that. Yeah.
Yes. Um, yeah, and as you said, like each of us, we have our own personal like challenges while we are mothers, while we are going through the challenge of motherhood. And but sometimes it's good to hear like practical tips, right? Sometimes just little advice or just a little different perspective on a problem help us a lot to go through these challenges. So what would you say, like, to some of our sisters that are listening? um, do you have some practical tips to share? How did you go through these challenges?
So yeah, subhanallah, the challenges are there. As soon as you become a mom, I think testing begins. Testing ground, whether the children are infants or, you know, grade school or teenagers. I have teenagers now, so it's like, alhamdulillah, it's a learning ground. I'm learning a lot from them. Um, they're learning from me, but it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but it's not meant to be not challenging. And I think once I accepted that, hey, my child is going through a phase, and I have to support them. So I had to actually find a way how to find a day to go more productive while they go through these changes, and I'm trying to understand it. How do I manage my time? So what we do in our household, because we homeschool, so it's a little bit different than children and mothers who care for children who go to school. So it's a little bit different, just because our children stay home all day and we need to figure things out, what to do during the whole day school wise, and also make sure emotionally and their needs are met during the day, and all the other stuff that can unfold. So number one is I have a schedule for my children and for myself. When they are working on their schedule, whether it's chores or their homework, I am also working on myself. So, for example, when we block our time for studying, at that time, I actually like to study as well. I have my books, desired books. Sometimes I actually go and take a bath with a bunch of candles and I read my books. And this really gives me that boost. It happens, I mean, at least 3 times a week, but I'm really able to recharge. For some reason, I don't really recharge by meeting with other people as much, but I really love that me time, that quality me time where I just do whatever I desire. Um, and simple routine. This is a really big one. It helped me a lot to make it simple. Our routine during the day is not, we don't try to squeeze all these special curriculums. They're so cute and they're so glittery. I'm just being sarcastic, but you know, I'm I make it simple and practical. We have a schedule, we have subjects that they need to go through every single day. And if that's done, good. They get their schedule, they can check mark it, and we're done. Uh, Now, if I see my kids, they really want something special once every here and there, I always offer that. But in general, we make it very simple so we can have a simple routine without any hype meaning like it doesn't stress me out, it doesn't stress them out. And being mindful, I think this one is crucial. Being in a moment every day, getting up and just trying to give yourself that 5 minutes of alhamdulillah, I woke up, I am healthy. Doing some adhkar, morning and evening adhkar is crucial. We try to practice it as a family as much as we can. It's one of the best things we can do if we can make it a practical. um, and just be mindful during the day. Every once in a while, just get in the zone. Right now, this is what's going on. Right now, this is how I'm feeling. And justify your feelings. This will always keep you in check. Alhamdulillah, it has helped me tremendously. Being mindful of the surrounding of my emotions, of my explosions. It has helped me to parent my children, to actually even be a better wife, be a better daughter, be a better mother. So alhamdulillah, being mindful um, is a gift. It's not a skill that just you can gain it overnight, but if you work towards it, it is one of the best skills you can have while parenting your children. So, Sister Azra, do you have anything to add to this? I know this is like we can all have different opinions on this, and I would really love to hear what else do you add to your routine.
These are great tips. I like what you said a lot about mindfulness and basically, trying to regulate like your emotional state. What are your feelings, and being organized, as you said, organize your time. That would help me a lot to organize. Like even when I was working with, with little kids, right? And when they're teenagers and stuff, that helped me a lot, that we know some schedule, who is doing what, when. and that help us to function better and reduce stress. And when, of course, many times get really stressful, what I would do, I would take like a timeouts, and just spend like just have a conversation with my kids and trying to figure out what's going on, why they're acting out, or why, what's the reason for stress that we are going through. And little by little, kids sometimes, especially I have boys, they're not always for the conversation, but little by little, they also learned how to share actually what they are going through. And so we can kind of, work things out. But what you mentioned, it's great tips.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, thank you for sharing that. And another thing is reaching out and asking for help. A lot of us tend to shy away from that, and yet it's proven to be the opposite, that actually if we do reach out, that it's actually only going to benefit us. So Sister Azra, could you just share some light on how can we gain that support system without feeling guilty?
Yeah, that's also a very good question. We probably heard a lot. People are talking about, in general, the problem of loneliness in isolation here, especially if you're living in the U.S. on the West, right? People are kind of, shutting down and, not sharing anymore that much. And I see this in our community as well. I mean, it's normal. The level of stress is high, but we have to keep in mind that environment is very important. The ecosystem is crucial, and most of the time, this environment is actually stronger than our willpower. So, as you said, when we are sharing, it is much easier to go through the problems when we are sharing, and many times in our community, the problem is that seeking this perfection. Uh, you know, we have to kind of, you know, um, teach ourselves to be more authentic. And, if we are going through the challenges or if we have some things, that we should not feel shame about it, that, you know, it's going to be beneficial for us if we have a friend, if we have a family member, and of course, I'm always for the community. I wish we see more activities, more things in the masjids, and especially for women, where we could come together and as a group, there's a great barakah in doing things in group, right? Ramadan is coming. We will come for Taraweeh prayers. We will be together, have share iftars and stuff. But many times we don't like to share other challenges, and I think that's why we are like not benefiting from the group that much. So I think community is very important. You don't have to have like 100 friends, but we should have friends, and we should kind of invest or participate more or initiate more things in the masjid in our community, to help each other.
It would be so amazing that maybe in the future we could think about having a women's circle. It really doesn't have to be in person. We can just make it online, but it's like creating that safe space for women where they can share their ups and lows, highs and lows, and we can all share, maybe share our thoughts and advice if they ask for it. But it would be really nice to create something like that in the near future.
Yes. And in the process, some women are really good, or they learn from their mothers, how to, care about themselves, or how to balance all these roles. Some of us, like, for example, myself, I didn't grow up in, like, an Islamic way, an Islamic family, a dysfunctional family, actually, right? My parents get divorced, and I didn't learn all these, excuse me, I did not learn, many like things that will help me to have, functional marriage and specifically raising children, right? So many of us will benefit from others who can share about how do you, uh, care about yourself. How do you balance these roles? So it will be great, Saniha, if you could kind of share, or say like your perspective on like self-care for us women, mothers, and balancing these roles.
Yeah, definitely. To cover just the point before it, subhanallah, today the society today versus like our parents' time, it's totally different. So even like if you had like this perfect upbringing, the questions that we as mothers have nowadays, like they're like day and night so different, because our children are challenging us in a different ways because of the technology, because of all the resources that they have nowadays. um, these children are so different than when we were children, subhanallah, in so many ways. But definitely these circles would bring so much good. At least that's what I think. Now for self-care, you know, we can talk about self-care for a long time, but really it gets down to just few points. It's like, how do you what can you do for yourself, and how long can that be? Some sisters, you know what, they just need that 5 minutes boost, to jug that coffee. um, some sisters to praise Allah, and some sisters they need more time. So, you know figure out what are your needs and how long do you need to charge up. uh, Me personally, I need at least an hour and a half a day, maybe even two. I don't know if this is like if I am a high maintenance or what, but I really need a good hour and a half to charge up. And what this gives me is um, gives me such a boost that I am a brand new person. I'm able to perform my tasks on daily basis much better. Now, of course, some days we can't charge up because some days we have stuff that we need to do. However, if you could have a chunk of a time during the day and just say, here guys, you see this is mama time, and then give them a task. They know this is mama's time. They know not to talk to you unless there's an emergency, fire, whatever. They just give you your time and they respect it. In our household, me time is important. Everybody knows mama's time is very important, and alhamdulillah, because they are so used to it since they were young, um, I barely ever have an interruption, alhamdulillah. And also, like, to be honest, one of the things that we can do for ourselves as a self-care is we really have to, and I have to work on myself with this. That guilt trip that we give ourselves does not serve us whatsoever. And I'm still working towards that. I am the guilty one. Alhamdulillah, over time it has decreased because I've been working on tools how to just kick these thoughts in the butt. But they still do come. So trying to really avoid these thoughts, or even say, I got these thoughts. Okay, fine. Name this thought. Name it. Do not give it a good name. Name it a bad name. Like, call it stupid. Okay? And then every time you have it, put this stupid thought in the stupid basket. And that really, I mean, this is what psychologists use too when they deal with their clients who have bad thoughts. They name the thought. You can name it whatever you want and then put it in that basket whenever it appears. And the more you practice, actually, you're able to minimize that thought. And I guarantee you, it has worked for me. I am still working towards it, but it has improved so much, alhamdulillah, with Allah's help. Self-care is really important. Sister, if you could do even 10 minutes for yourself, whether it's reading a book or just literally just closing your eyes and just breathing, that itself would help you regulate and also try to go through the day in a much more smoother way. Inshallah, just try. The breathing one is amazing. I do it before I go to sleep. I do it if I'm stressed. I hold my breath as much as I can, and then I exhale through the nose and do that like 5 times. The stress level goes so down. Even I get shocked every time. It's just something so simple we can do, and that is so helpful. Another thing that we can do, I consider this self-care, but it's not. It's how do you share the roles? Well, first of all, it's really beneficial if all the kids contribute in the family. They have their chores. If any of you need a chore list that I use, please send me a message below, and I will share the chore list that we do on daily basis. And after 30 days, the kids get a shake or they get a little reward, but it's normally not more than $7. And after their hard work, I try to reward them with I'm not a fan of rewarding too much, but I think after 30 days they deserve $7. Please don't judge me. But definitely, the children should contribute to the family. Azra, I don't know if you come across these people, but sometimes sisters, they come to me and they're like, how come you give chores to the children and they don't get paid on weekly basis? I'm like, who pays me? I've been doing things for them since they were born. I mean, so much. To this day, I still do it. Who pays me? Nobody. Everybody who lives in this house has to contribute to this home that we have created. So no, I'm not a fan of paying for the chores. No way. I think I was not paid as a child to do the chores, and I turned out fine. Alhamdulillah. If anything, I'm very responsible. Alhamdulillah, mashallah, tabarakallah. So I'm raising my children the same way, and it's been amazing. If there is any way you could share your roles with your husband, just have him, hey honey, could you take care of this during the day, or during the night, and I'll take care of this. This is also really helpful. It's crucial that mom and dad work together in the house, especially when authority has to take place, so this way you can take a break and dad can take over. This is not always something that can happen just because the dads work a lot, but if it's possible, it is an amazing thing to do, is just share the responsibility with your husband. So alhamdulillah, I mean, there's so many things we can talk about. We don't have too much time. We are actually we have a couple more questions and then we're gonna close it. But Sister Azra, for example, how do you balance your time when or what advice would you offer to the sisters who are listening, balancing the time as a mom, because we have to juggle so many things, professionally, as a parent, as a spouse, as a daughter, as a mother? How do you balance all that?
Saniha, it took me years to learn this. to actually balance these roles, starting from the perspective like what was my, as you said, you have to kind of observe your thoughts and then classify these thoughts. Are these thoughts truth, or are they beneficial? So for me, it started from the thing that our mothers were always, at least my mom was always mentioning how much mothers are sacrificing their lives for the kids and stuff. So I heard this story over and over again. So it took me years to understand and change the perspective from my role is not to sacrifice my life for the children, nor sacrifice my life for the marriage. My I have responsibility, and through that, learning about Islam and the role of a mothers in Islam and the role of the wives in Islam helped me a lot. In Islam has a beautiful, very healthy perspective on it, that we all have roles. The husband has a role, mother has a role, right? Of course, not all husbands are responsive, but you can also participate, in the conversation with your husband, trying to explain and teach him what is his role as well. So, as I said, for me, it started when I actually learned and changed the perspective. So I don't have to do everything. I'm not required to do everything. There are certain things that I have to do. They're my responsibility. And it's more like invest in your marriage, invest in your kids, right? Not sacrifice yourself. Because on the end, no one's going to say thank you, or in the sense like when you're sacrificing something, you're expecting others to say thank you. But when you're investing, you know what you're investing, and it might work out, might not, but you have totally different approach to it. And then I start to delegate things like, okay, explaining and teaching kids, helping them to understand they have to do certain things in the house. And I agree with you, Saniha. I did not pay my kids. Parents pay for the, chores and stuff. And then when something happens, when parents need something, kids won't do it. When you ask them to do something just like that, without paying them, then the kids don't respond. Why they don't respond? Because they get used to being paid for the things to do. So we are trying to help children to understand that certain things they have responsibility and they have to do, but, without being paid, as you said, like who is paying me? I'm your mother, nobody's paying me, right? So there's certain things they have to do, right? And then, for certain things they could be paid, right? And yes, that's what I wanted to say is that for me, changing my perspective on what is my role and then start delegating, giving each of a member of the family their work to do. That's when the things changed for me. But it took me years to get there.
Yes, subhanallah. I guess we all have a wake up call sometimes in our lifetime, but it's good when we do have a wake up call while we're still mothering and we're still caring for them. That's still not too late. Unfortunately, it's sad. I have a one sad story. A mother kind of had a wake up call when the children were 35 and 40, and the wake up call was more like, oh my God, they can't do anything. They're not capable of mowing the grass without maybe missing spots or breaking the lawnmower. They want to get paid from even the mom and dad for doing things because they were always paid before, and so many more things. They can't cook not even an egg. They're not capable. If they work, they want that recognition. I see, I have worked the whole week. Mine, they are 35 and 40 years old. And this is from one of the moms who's almost 70. So, subhanallah, you know, it is always a blessing to have that wake up call sooner than later, because we're still shaping them, and for not in a bad way, but we're still teaching them and guiding them, um, and we're awake. So alhamdulillah, mashallah, tabarakallah, I thank Allah so much for the knowledge that He has given me and for the tools that I can apply for my children, because I do not want to be a 65-year-old, 70, and looking back with regrets of I could have done this, um, and I just didn't have the tools. I didn't know. So I feel very blessed to be where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed me with the knowledge and tools, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use us to serve Him. Amin ya Rab.
Um,
Uh, Sister Azra, we're gonna close right now, but to end this podcast, I thought it would be really good to end it with an encouragement. You know, um, somebody like you who has been homeschooling for the last, 15 years,
yeah.
um, it is very helpful to hear from you just some words of encouragement so we can keep going, um, and perform our tasks, inshallah, for those of us who homeschool, or even moms who don't.
Yes. Um, yes, after probably now 16 or 17 years, I just stopped counting because my kids are already in the university, so I don't count anymore. But yes, um, how would I encourage mothers, young moms, especially those who are homeschooling? It's just get rid of perfection. That's number one. Um, be authentic, be honest with your children, and you know what I cherished and what I'm kind of blessed with and thankful for is that relationship with children, and very soon they will start actually giving you feedback and telling you what you can improve and stuff. So it's a both way relationship. That's the best thing. One thing that I would recommend to everybody, and I would recommend to myself, if I could talk to my younger version, I would tell myself, don't do things for the kids. Don't step in for them, and finish things for them, or teach them how to go through the work they need to go through it. Help them to regulate their emotions, right? Acknowledge their emotions, but help them to go through it. So, for example, if they're failing in something, like they don't know math or something, don't step in and then change the teacher, change the tutor, do all kinds of stuff, or do homework for them, because that's very actually harmful for them. Even cooking, like your daughter starts to cook something and then she halfway, and then she has some challenges there, and then you step in and you finish for her. That's very, very harmful for kids, because when they become teenagers and after in life, they will lack that skill of going through emotional part of these challenges. So they will have a hard time to finish tasks. Maybe you notice with your teenagers, or they're not able to complete the task. They don't have motivation. That most of it coming from us stepping in and saving them in the middle of the storm, right? Not letting them to go through it and have their own experience and their own lesson. So that I would for me, this is like really big, because mothers, we feel kind of sorry. We care about our children, and we are, many of us are doing that mistake, stepping in and helping in. We think that we help in this way, but actually we are not helping at all. So get rid of perfection, be positive, be authentic, talk to your children, open this channel of communication, um, and delegate. delegate tasks, and inshallah, that's one positive way of, but trials are part of life. No one's gonna be saved from any, trial, not having any trials in life. So stay positive, and get rid of perfection. What do you say, Saniha?
Oh, mashallah. You just summed it all up. It's it's information, it's gold information, and I'd say that I wasn't practicing that for a long time, and then I saw the benefit of it, and I never stopped. Yeah, I'll have to agree. Do not do things for your children. Keep the routine and stick to it no matter what. No matter what. Even if that routine cannot, like for example, a class cannot be 1 hour, keep it at least 10 minutes, but keep it. Do not try not to cancel it just because of this reason and that reason. That's something that I know this helps us stay on track and create that habit that keeps going. So alhamdulillah, this was great. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use this to benefit other sisters and use us to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we have said anything bad, may Allah forgive us. If we have said anything that benefited the sisters, that's only from Allah. Please, again, share below your thoughts. What would you like to hear in a future? Keep in mind, both Sister and Azra and I are homeschoolers, so we can talk about the related issues and benefits of homeschooling in a future podcast. But let us know, what would you like to hear, and what did you like about this podcast in particular? Sister Azra, I really appreciate you. I love doing this with you, and I hope inshallah we get to do one in a very near future, choosing a topic that we talked about last time. And stay tuned, sisters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah barakatuhu.